I have to stop the clock. I apologize. I have to stop the clock. Member will take her seat, please. It has long been the established practice of this House that members should not use props, signage, or accessories that are intended to express a political message or are likely to cause disorder. This also extends to members' attire where logos, symbols, slogans, and other political messaging are not permitted. This legislature is a forum for debate, and the expectation in the chamber is that political statements should be made during debate rather than through the use of props or symbols. I'm going to ask the member for Hamilton Centre to come to order. I must warn the member for Hamilton Centre. Sarah Jama, you are named. You must leave the chamber. The member is currently not eligible to be recognized in the House pursuant to the Order of the House adopted October 23, 2023. As a result of being named, the member for the remainder of the day is ineligible to vote on matters before the Assembly, attend and participate in any committee proceedings, use the media studio, and table notices of motion, written questions, and petitions. Start the clock. I'll recognize the leader. No, we're not doing point of order during question period. I apologize. But you have an opportunity to place a supplementary question. I recognize the Leader of the Opposition.
What do you mean? I'd like to ask for unanimous consent, Speaker, from the opposite members opposite. I find it... okay, I'm going to make this a supplementary. I'll make this question to the House Leader. Speaker, this is outrageous that we are seeing one of our members removed from...
Yeah, that's not the same subject as the original question.
Next question, then.
Question. And I recognize you.
So for those who are watching, you'll understand now that I have to continue my question on the issue of health care, but I'll be returning to this issue in my next question. We've already seen a member in this legislature, in this assembly, silenced, which I think members on our side of the House and the official opposition strongly opposed. Today, we are seeing a member removed for wearing a sign of her culture and community. I am appalled. And I think I speak for everyone here on this side of the House. And I actually believe I speak for many on the other side of the House as well. Really?
Order.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, you should tell your Premier. Speaker, my question is for the Premier. Will the Premier stand behind his words and compel his caucus to support the freedom to wear cultural attire here at Queen's Park?
Government House Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think the Leader of the Opposition is, of course, speaking of a member of the caucus, of her caucus, which she removed from her caucus, Mr. Speaker. Having said that, I think the Premier has been very clear on where he stands. It's a decision that the Speaker has made. Speaker, at the same time, Speaker, I am quite concerned that the Leader of the Opposition continues to suggest that the members of her caucus or any caucus should be compelled to make a decision. Speaker, that is not the way this place works. I'm somewhat concerned that the Leader of the Opposition is suggesting that she's compelling her members to make a decision. We will continue to follow the rules as established by this House, Mr. Speaker, until those rules are changed.
Supplementary question.
Speaker, Ontario is a place where we celebrate different cultures. We work to uphold the values of diversity, and we understand the pain that communities feel when they are not represented. We observe Truth and Reconciliation Day to acknowledge the impact of colonial oppression and the erasure at times and criminalization of cultural symbols. I have never seen a government more willing to divide than this government here today.
Order.
And we've seen it
Order.
for months and months.
Order.
At a time when we should be bringing people together, they want to remove people. So will the Premier support the freedom of cultural expression and stand with thousands of Ontarians who want to see the reversal of this Keffiyeh ban?
Government House Leader.
Speaker, let me be very clear to the Leader of the Opposition. The government does not have a ban. That is very clear. And what the Leader of the Opposition is doing, is dividing people by suggesting that the Government of Ontario has a ban, Mr. Speaker. That is not the case. Let me speak very directly to the people of the province. The Government of Ontario has not banned anything. In fact, it was this government and this legislature, led by that Minister of Transportation, who in the last Parliament...
Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Member for Ottawa Centre, come to order. Leader of the Opposition, come to order. Member for Brampton North, come to order. I think there's still some time. Start the clock. Government House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Leader of the Opposition really ought to be ashamed for what it is that she is doing here today, suggesting to the people of the province of Ontario that the government has made a decision that it has not done, Mr. Speaker. This is a decision of the Legislative Assembly, Mr. Speaker, and if those rules change, of course, we will follow those rules.
Order. Member for Ottawa South, come to order. Final supplementary.
Speaker, I would say to the House Leader that all four leaders of the parties here have agreed and have acknowledged that the ban on wearing the keffiyeh was unnecessarily divisive. The Premier said that he was going to support a motion to erase that. The only people that I heard say no when we had a unanimous consent motion before this House were members of the members opposite, members of this government. It's not my job to whip their members. I'm going to say I am absolutely, again, I'm appalled by this as a member of this Assembly. We have an attempt here, again, to not only silence a member and remove a member, but we have an attempt by this government to try to further divide Ontarians. This is really appalling behaviour from this government, Speaker. I don't even know what to say anymore. I wish the Premier was here to answer this question.
Order. 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 I remind members, all members, that we don't make reference to the absence of any member because on any given day one of us might be not here, as we know. The member for Hamilton Mountain, come to order. The member for Niagara West, come to order. Member for Mississauga Lake Shore, come to order. The member for Ottawa Centre, come to order. Start the clock. Government House Leader can respond.
Look, let me again remind the Leader of the Opposition that the member that she is referencing was kicked out of her caucus by her, Mr. Speaker. She wasn't kicked out of a progressive conservative caucus for the views that she held. She was kicked out of the NDP caucus because of the views that she held. Perhaps she didn't want to be compelled, like the Leader of the Opposition is suggesting that she is doing to the rest of her members over there, Mr. Speaker. What we do on this side of the House, progressive conservatives, is stand up for all of the people of the province of Ontario. We don't sit on our benches compelling our members, Mr. Speaker. We stand up for everybody, no matter where you come from, no matter what you believe in. We don't use this chamber as a place to divide people, Mr. Speaker. That's not what responsible parliamentarians do. It is what she does, and she...
Stop the clock. Members will please take their seats.